Yo, yo, yo. What's up, guys? Good morning, good morning. All right, let me just let premium members that I'm live here quick on Discord. Okay, and then let's quickly check that everything is going correctly here. Whoopsies, might be. All right, so let me put this up here. Is that K? I can't. I'm not sure if it's the same K. I think it is. Oh, everybody's here. Pepe, yo, Tom, K, what's up? Boys and girls. Just kidding, just males, I think. Wow, my hair is messed up today. All right. So, pretty crazy week that happened last week in the markets. And now, like I told you guys from last week, we are rebalancing this weekly fair value gap, right? This is a weekly fair value gap, red candle, big down close, wicks between, and now we have hit the 50%. And my opinion was that with the Moody's downgrade, we were going to see some pullbacks. Okay, the reason that somebody texted me today, um, probably the laziest person I know. Just kidding. His name is Yo Tom. He's actually in the chat right now, and he was asking me, "Why are we selling off today?" And I said, "Well, read the market overview. I have it in the Discord. I post it almost every single week when there's something important that happens." And I told him, I told the group that we were likely to be rebalancing some gaps here. Okay. So I think what's going to happen on the daily chart, we're probably going to come back and sweep these data lows, maybe fill some of these gaps. And the last time we had a Moody's downgrade, like we did on Friday after market closed, after market close, the last time we had a Moody's downgrade, there were two times in the last 15 years, I think, in 2011 and 2023. 2011 had a major sell-off, and the next few weeks afterwards also sold off pretty heavily. I think it was like a 6 point something percent drop the first day, and then a total of 8% decline in 2011. 2023, the market was more prepared. It was much smaller, but there was still a fallout. Now, combined with technical, so this weekly fair value gap and all the gaps that we have on the daily chart and the Moody's downgrade and the data lows we have, we are probably going to end up retesting this. A lot of people are also asking about Bitcoin, what is going on. So I'll show you guys what I see and why I think it's selling off right now. Where's my Bitcoin chart? All right, so if we go to the weekly chart, we just had one of the biggest, in fact, the highest weekly close ever on Bitcoin, which is a huge deal, obviously. The weekly close was at 106,520. So the reason I think we're pulling back here is likely because we have now created this weekly fair value gap. And so I think what's probably going to happen, I should not be labeled IFEG until it becomes one. So I will delete this, this text. Kay said he's thinking of getting out of Bitcoin. That's completely up to you guys. Again, those of you who know and have followed me for a long time know that my ads are between 50. I added once at 30. Actually, I added once at 17. I added once at 30, and I added once in the 50s. So my cost basis is around 38K, give or take. A little bit lower, I think. But for me, I think what's happening here is that we are coming back to rebalance this fair value gap, and I will be looking for a strong close above it. After it balances at minimum to 50% of it. And I think it will continue higher. But again, if you're just like trading Bitcoin and you see this inverse to the downside, that's probably a signal to get out, to be honest. But we'll see what happens with it. On NQ, guys, I took a pretty good trade last night in the London Asia session. and I was targeting this 0.25 of the uh, candle. Again, if you guys know the TGIF setup, right, from low to high of the weekly candle, I was looking for at minimum a 25% and possibly a 30% retracement of the weekly candle, and you can see that we actually got it. And now we have come back and rebalanced this daily fair value gap, and who knows what's going to happen from here. It's a very tough day, I will say that already. The reason being, it's a no news Monday. The only days this week that we're going to have major news are, or even, not even really major, but the only days we're going to have red folder news are Thursday, and then I think orange folder news on Friday. I'll pull up the Forex Factory for you guys real quick so you can see it. But today, there is no news and a ton of FOMC members. If you are trading today with a cash account, please reconsider. This is the type of day where you likely get destroyed. FOMC members are a excuse for the algorithms in the market to go haywire. And so a lot of the times things that normally work will not work. So be super careful. Tuesday, we have G7 meetings and FOMC members speaking. No red folder news. Wednesday, G7 meetings and FOMC members. Like, this week is really, really going to be a tough trading week. I will tell you right now, it's probably going to be erratic, meaning price action is just going to go back and forth, up and down, or it's just going to completely sharply drop when no one's expecting it, or sharply pump when no one's expecting it. And then Thursday is the only day with red folder news, and that happens at 8:30 and 9:45. So for this day, I will be live streaming, but in the Discord, this is the best day to trade, in my opinion, of all the days of the week. I will probably start at market open. I will wake up early to see if there's any movement for unemployment claims. If not, we'll start at 9:30 market open my time, or Eastern time, sorry. And then Friday we have orange folder news, new home sales. So not the best day to be trading, but probably going to be a slower day, if I had to guess, depending on how the rest of the week moves. So we'll see what happens with that. So yeah, very tough spot to be in here for sure. I will not lie. So today I definitely will not be trading with a cash account. Possibly scalping with a funded, possibly trading on eval, which is probably the most likely scenario. But I am very, very, how should I put this? I am not optimistic on full-blown upside this week. That's all I'll say. As far as things that I'm looking for here, I mean, it's pretty tough to say that anything for sure is going to hit. We already hit this data low from the other day. What is this? We have these London lows that we hit already, so I'm going to delete all these off my chart. Trying to see if there's anything A+ that I could be targeting here to the downside. The next major level of liquidity that I'm seeing that I want to hit hopefully soon is this data low. I will note though that there are two sets of perfect equal highs up here. So I would not be surprised if we do end up getting these and then a rejection. Whoops. But we'll have to be super patient and wait and see what we get. Right now, yeah, this is a very tough day. I mean, on the daily, this is bullish because we keep rebalancing these fair value gaps and wicking out of them. But yeah, today's definitely going to be kind of a scalping day. Going to be very tough to find things that are really good. I do want to look at the Mag 7. Right now, I'm not seeing anything A+ here, I'll be honest. We do have a very small fair value gap here on the 1 minute that I think is probably going to get rebalanced today, if I have to guess. We are about, how many points away from this are we right now? 37 points. Bouncing out of a fair value gap, but there's no inversion here for me to take, so I probably will not be taking anything here. Oh, what's up, Evan? Yeah, I was trying to do a test to see if I could, if the thumbnails worked, because if you guys remember, last week I was trying to go live, and every time I went live, it like didn't allow me to put thumbnails onto my, it didn't let me put thumbnails onto YouTube. It kept doing this weird thing. So I deleted Streamlabs, re-downloaded it, and I tested it last night, or yesterday evening. But yeah, at least you guys were able to see it. Guys, by the way, if you're in the stream, make sure you like. Guys, by the way, if you're in the wow, there's 5 people watching on YouTube and only 3 likes. Come on, y'all. And then there's 16 people total from X. Good to see. All right, so I mean, potentially, guys, the target today could be these equal highs. With this whole Moody's downgrade thing, everybody was freaking out, saying the market was going to sell off, including, I mean, I didn't freak out and say that, but I mean, it was definitely possible that the markets sold off today, and they could still. But, you know, now with the age of technology where everybody gets information so quickly, normally when all of sentiment feels one way, it ends up going the opposite. So could we come up and sweep these equal highs first before going lower? Sure. Let me quickly check on the Mag 7. I want to see how everything's doing. UNH. Wow. UNH up 4%. Not hugely up, but still up nonetheless. I decided to sell out of this position. This is the first long-term position I think I've ever sold out of, because I did not want to have to deal with holding a lot of capital in this stock for potentially 12 to 24 months before anything really happens with their legal proceedings. So we'll have to see what happens with that. How is Boeing doing today? Boeing is at 205. What are the top performers? Hold on, let me close this because this is really, really bright. All right, there we go. An increase in the VIX because of the Moody's downgrade, obviously. Tesla down. Riot down. Nike down. Okay, so nothing too intense here. But as far as what I'm looking at NQ right now and seeing if there's any trade I can take, there's nothing that I really love just yet, I'll be honest. All right. 5 people watching, 5 likes, let's go. But yeah, we're in the 950 macro, so potentially we will come up and rebalance that fair value gap that I pointed out above us right over here. And then if we do get a strong push today, I mean, we could tag these equal highs. Looking at the 1 minute, guys, I never take this, but a lot of the times it works. If we get an inversion on the 1 minute right at market open, essentially if we close above it on the first candle, typically that can lead to some pumps to target, you know, internal buy side. But I did not take it, so it is what it is. Okay, so if you guys want to try a scalp up to this 1 minute fair value gap that comes from all the way back here, I mean, can you take this? Sure. I don't think it's A plus though. Just a idea. By the way, congrats to anyone who sold puts with me or sold covered calls against Tesla. We are now up 86% on that position. I will post that in the community, obviously. I'm not gonna close it though. On the higher time frames, if we look at the hourly chart, we did just close pretty much at the hourly fair value gap. We did close above it by just a couple ticks. So this could be the driver that brings us up here, but I'm not just going to enter solely because we got an hourly inversion. I need to see something else. I think this is going to be a good scalp to target this. Maybe like for a 1-for-1 here. But not A plus, not nearly enough of an A plus setup for me to take, especially on a day like today. All right, there it is. So if we do somehow get a setup, guys, somewhere up here and we get some kind of an inversion to target these, I will take it. But until I see something like that, there's nothing worth me taking here. And there is a 1 minute inversion here to the downside, but I'm not a huge fan of it. We haven't taken major liquidity yet, so, and we have equal highs above us. So just a very tough spot to be in. Not somewhere where I really want to risk real capital, especially like I said, with there being no news and being FOMC speakers. Just not a good day to be risking capital on suboptimal setups. I mean, it never is, but sometimes it's a little easier than others. But if you guys are wondering what short I took yesterday during the London Asia session, this is where I looked for shorts. Right over here. This liquidity sweep right here, I was very confident that we were going to touch into the 0.25. We'd already hit the 0.2, but the TGIF setup normally goes to the 0.25 and the 0.3 of the weekly candle. So I literally just took a liquidity sweep and an inversion from here. And we held that. I did not close this position here. I held this through all of this drawdown, and I took it all the way down to the 0.25. I did not hold to the 0.3, though, which we did ultimately get after a big pump in the London session, but I just took all my position off right here. Close that out for, how many points was this? Where's the magnet tool? If the shift tool works, oh my god. Close it out for 56 points. Nothing crazy. Excuse me. I do want to see if we left any equal lows anywhere. Nothing here. Nothing here. Nothing here. And our first standard deviation of the Asia range, by the way, guys, is all the way up here above the equal highs. So yeah, I mean, we could easily just keep pumping today. That's definitely possible, but there's no A plus setup. I will look for a setup up to these equal highs if we get close to it. But until then, I'm not going to be looking for anything. I need to see something A plus, maybe a liquidity sweep, maybe a tap back into the weekly open. Something needs to happen before I look for a long. But yeah, and if you're wondering if I would have taken this 1 minute inversion, the answer is no. Obviously, a pretty strong daily candle here. That is true. Wow. Big push there. Did we just sweep buy side? Okay, so we've now swept the buy side on the 15-minute chart. And, I mean, guys, we could easily go up to these equal highs. It's definitely possible today, but I need to see some kind of an A-plus setup. I need to see some kind of liquidity sweep and then an inversion. Otherwise, I cannot take this. Very strong looking candles on the 4-hour chart and on the daily. But yeah, what will probably end up happening, what I realistically think will happen here is we'll come back and we'll fully rebalance this weekly fair value gap. So I think any spot between these equal highs and the 21,653 range is going to be an area to look for potential shorts, but we also have another weekly fair value gap and daily fair value gap above it. So very, very tough spot to be in as far as looking for shorts yet, but I will still be looking for longs today because I still think these are coming and I still think we have a lot of room to rebalance up here. But there's obviously no entries for any longs unless you want to just re-enter on a 1 minute fair value gap and go bullish, but that's not my model, so that I will not be doing. One thing I do like, though, I will say, I did add to my Google position on Friday, just a little bit, but I think that Google, now that we've closed above this daily inversion here, if you guys see it right, oh, I have drawings up already. I think that this high and then this high are coming, and then maybe we'll get a little bit of resistance at that 200-day moving average, but probably not. I'm guessing that this high and this high are going to come straight away. So I'm looking to take some profits at 174, and I will hold the rest up to this daily gap and this, oh, it's just a daily gap. I might hold most of it to this weekly fair value gap, actually. So the 188 range is where I take most of my profits on Google, or the runners at least. Okay, so continuous pump here. Probably, again, guys, going to go up to these equal highs, but is there a setup for me to take here? Absolutely not. If you guys want to risk like a 1-for-1 here to target them, be my guest. I would not personally, though. It's not a model. It's not a setup. If you do this a 99 out of 100 times, or if you do this 100 times, this 1-for-1 trade, you're probably not going to be profitable with it. So that's the issue. A lot of people are decent at reading the market and they can kind of figure out where direction is going to go. But just because you know where the market's going to go does not mean you're going to be profitable, because most of the time it's not just a straight line up. We have a lot of liquidity sweeps and ways that they manipulate the market to stop you from making money. So always remember that, guys. When you want to enter something long, unless you are so confident with it, don't enter it. Because most of the time it's not a straight line up like this. Yes, sometimes it does happen, but if you do it 100 times, you will most likely not be profitable. Again, the number one thing that I try and teach on this channel is discipline. I know that's not sexy, that's not what a lot of people want to hear, but at the end of the day, if you're not profitable, it's probably because you're not disciplined. So we have a daily fair value gap here, a 1 minute fair value gap here, and a 1 minute fair value gap here. If you're bullish and you long this green candle, now you're praying that this is going to have a positive reaction. What I'm looking for, ideally, is some kind of your retracement here below some liquidity, maybe below this order block, maybe below these order blocks, maybe a sweep of this low, and then a move higher. Probably not going to get it because of how bullish the day is, but we'll see. Very interesting Bitcoin chart too. I know a lot of you guys have already seen me post this and talk about it earlier, but I'm going to be waiting for this level on Bitcoin. A lot of people don't want to hear it, but this is probably going to hit 100,764. And if we touch into this, I want to see an immediate wick out of it. We might not. There's a possibility that we don't come back and rebalance this, but it's doubtful. So like there's a lot of crypto bros on X posting, oh, we're never going to hit 100K again. Probably. Realistically, we probably will. If you guys want to try a scalp here, this 1 minute is very likely to rebalance. So if you want to scalp really quick to target this candle's wick low, this is probably going to hit, like with a very high degree of certainty. And almost there. And there it is. Why is that so A+? Not A+. Why is there such a high degree of certainty that this is going to hit? Well, we've been bullish all day, and this is a very, very, very strong bullish candle. So basically the market is coming down here, just like on Bitcoin, on the weekly chart. We're coming down to rebalance this weekly fair value gap. This is not as high probability, by the way. But on the 1 minute chart, we're coming down to rebalance a bullish 1 minute fair value gap. So that's why that was so high probability. And now if you were a bull, you obviously want to see this 1 minute fair value gap be used as support to go higher. Hopefully it does. But I'm looking for a potentially liquidity sweep, maybe a trade into this one, and then an A+ inversion. And that will be used to target the equal highs. If we get it, we get it. If we don't, then I sit and I be patient and I watch. Yes, these are both two sets of equal highs. Whenever you guys look at my trading, if you ever see these lime green lines, they are equal highs, perfect equal highs. So you can see here what formed last week on Friday in the afternoon, right before that sell-off because of the Moody's downgrade. There are equal highs right there, and then there are also equal highs. I don't know if I even have enough data here. Yeah, I do. So there's perfect triple equal highs from Thursday around 1 o'clock. So that is what those two lines come from. There's one right above price too. I don't see any. That might be a glitch. Unless you're talking about, unless this formed perfect equal highs. No. I don't like these equal highs right here. Yes, there's a gap between them, but I don't know. That's just not. This is not like something that I would really, really take into account. But yes, this is technically perfect equal highs. By the way, apologies if you see my nose going crazy. Just got bad allergies today. All right, so these equal highs just hit that Evan mentioned. Again, they're not super powerful ones in my view, but nonetheless, they're still equal highs. But again, what I was looking for here was more of a liquidity sweep, but you can see that this 1 minute bullish fair value gap is reacting positively. Could this be what delivers us up to these equal highs? Sure, it's possible, but it's not my job to be longing right here because I have FOMO and I want these to hit. I need to see further retracements and then an A plus IFEG to go short, to go long. I mean. Boo doo 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 doo. Is Trump speaking today? I don't know. Was Trump on the menu? It doesn't say it on Forex Factory. I mean, he's always speaking somewhere, I feel like. Yeah, so pretty bullish reaction here. These equal highs are likely to hit today. Again, I will not take anything until there is an A plus setup, and right now there is nothing. We have this big down leg of price. I would not be surprised if they stall the market before these, but again, if something A plus presents itself, I will execute. Otherwise, we will sit out. Yo, for people who are in the stream right now, I'm dealing with the same problem here. I'm looking at the settings. What is the highest quality resolution you can watch my stream at? For me, it's showing the highest quality resolution as 720p. And when I look at the screen, it's slightly blurry. Are you guys experiencing that as well? Like, it's not terribly blurry, but it's not like perfectly crisp. I'm gonna look into that. Because it should be like on my end, it's way more crisp than that. Yeah, it's like it's not crystal clear. Let me see if I can change it in the Creator Studio. Customization. I don't know, I might have to re-edit it later, but yes, KN, I stream every day. But the best days of the week I stream in the Discord. Okay, so bullish order block here, but again, is this a high probability order block? No, it's an order block that formed after we hit internal buy side. So this is not a high probability order block. Could it be used to go higher? Sure. This is not an A+ setup though. I want to see some kind of a setup up to these equal highs, and I will take it if we get it. But until then, guys, I just have to sit patiently. Okay, I'll check the output later, but yeah. So far, I mean, yes, could this order block be used to go higher? Sure, but what I'd prefer to see is some kind of liquidity sweep here, maybe below these lows, and then look for an A+ setup up. So another bounce out of a tiny 1-minute gap. Is this an A+ long to take? Absolutely not. Is it possibly going to work today? Maybe. But again, the main objective here is these equal highs, so we'll see if we get them. And then that will come very close to the 2 daily highs as well, which are right above the equal highs, right? The first daily high is right above this set of equal highs. Second daily high is right above that. And then the first standard deviation of the Asia range is right above that at 21,570. So that might be another spot we go to. The difference between an order block and a breaker. Well, it just, I mean, the major difference that I look for between an order block and a breaker is that a breaker sweeps a low. So like in this case, this is a breaker right here. Low, high, lower, low, or if you want to view the higher time frame breaker, low, high, lower, low. Order blocks don't need to make a new low, but they both behave in the same manner. Another really good way that I like to view them is a breaker block kind of makes, so if you're wondering if a breaker is bullish or bearish, if it makes a low, high, lower, low, and you're basically drawing from low to high to lower, low, it makes a V, and the V points upwards. This is a bullish breaker. Vice versa, if it does the opposite, I mean, this is not a breaker because, well, it technically is, but from a bias standpoint and a structure standpoint, it's not. But if it makes a V downwards, this is a bearish breaker. Okay, so we're technically potentially inversing this 1 minute fair value gap here, which means this liquidity should sweep. But nothing here A plus for me to take. So if you guys are wondering about this 1 minute fair value gap, that's bullish. If we close below this, yes, these lows and this fair value gap are likely to be rebalanced again. But what I don't like is that it's also on the 2 minute chart. It's also on the 3 minute chart. So you technically would have to wait for all of them before looking for a short. I think that this low is likely to come now to rebalance the 5 minute right below us, but I'm not going to be taking this. I'm thinking that this is probably the draw right now. We're probably coming down to target this, but again, is there a setup for me to take here? Not A plus. We have equal highs above us. Let me look at the 2 and the 3. Yeah, I mean, this is just structurally hard to short. But if we do get this liquidity sweep and then we get an A plus inversion, I will try that long. I think somewhere here, ideally, or right before it, we'd get a reversal. And we could target about 150 points. That's pretty wild. So the 1 minute has inversed to the downside. The 2 minute has inversed to the downside. The 3 minute has not inversed to the downside yet. This candle closes at 30, I believe, at 30 sharp. Bro, who is sending me texts? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. All right, sorry. So we got 30 seconds until, less than 30 seconds till the 3 minute inversion. You can see we've already tapped into this bullish 3 minute though, so I wouldn't be surprised if we actually get a bullish setup from here. I want to see this liquidity get touched into. It doesn't have to though. But I'm not seeing anything that's super clean. There is a 3 minute inversion that just formed. So if we do close above, if we sweep this liquidity and then close above this, I think that'll be a good long. Also, guys, the 3 minute did not close below this fair value gap, so technically you can't even take this short if you wanted to. We also have a tiny 5-minute that has not closed below yet either. So very, very tough spot to be in. But right now, my main focus is on this 3-minute inversion gap here. If we do close above this, again, it's going to be higher risk because we're in premium of the range, but I do think it'll probably work to the upside here. How do you use WO? I'm assuming WO means weekly open. I'm going to guess right now that this bullish woman at fair value gap is going to fail. I'd like to see this low get swept. That would be optimal here. If we can get a sweep of this low and then some kind of a setup higher, that would be awesome. But if we do get a close above this, I mean, this is something I'll try with smaller size because we're in premium of the range, but I would target the first set of equal highs above us here. No, the reason I took the London Asia session was because of the TGIF setup. I've taught this many times before. I have a lesson on it in my community under the education tab. But when a weekly candle is super bullish and we're entering into a PD array that will probably reject us, either on the Friday or the Sunday or the Monday, we get a retracement to 30% of this candle. So you take the Fibonacci and you draw it out, and you can see we have the 20%, 25%, and 30%. So when we rejected hard during the Asia and London session, it was the Asia session where I took the trade, I was aiming for this 0.25. So here, when we got this liquidity sweep and 1-minute inversion, I took the short. I did not book profits here, and I held it all the way down to this 0.25. I did not close a position on this retracement. I did not move my stops to break even because I was very confident on this setup. It happens. It's a very, like, I wouldn't say 90%, but probably 80-85% probability that this hits, and then the 30% hits as well, normally. And even the 50% sometimes if we're super bearish, but in this case, so far, no. But that booked me, I think that was $450 on one micro contract, which is pretty wild. I'm sorry, on 5 micro contracts, not one micro contract, might be. Okay, so we're getting a pretty decent close here. If the 3-minute close is above, guys, I will try this half-size position. Again, it's higher risk. If this is your only trade of the day, consider sizing down because we're in premium of the current range. But I think these equal highs will probably hit. And this candle closes at 36, so we got 2 minutes left. If you guys are wondering what the TGIF setup is, well, go on to ICT's YouTube and type in TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. I normally see it happen on Monday or on Sunday. TGIF. M or TGIS. Normally doesn't happen on a Friday. And if it does, it's normally in the afternoon session after 2 p.m. But if we get a bearish opening on a Sunday with a strong weekly candle from the week before, that is honestly, I would say my highest win rate strategy is that a TGIF on a Sunday after a super bullish week. That and the data candle setups at 8:30 are my highest win rate strategies. Okay, so the 3-minute is closing within this bearish fair value gap. If we close above it, then I think this long is still likely to hit. Again, I will size down on this because we've had a very bullish reaction here. But yeah, we'll see what happens here. We're bouncing out of a bullish 5 as well, paired with an order block. So there is another 5-minute inversion here, but I'm willing to just risk the 3 personally. Also, what I like about this potential setup is that we're coming to that 10:50 macro time, so the closing of the hourly candle, or the opening of the new candle might be a little bit volatile. I'm not gonna lie, but I still think it's decent. Yeah, Evan, I heard there's a bunch of hurricane tornadoes and stuff, and people died. I was gonna ask you about that. I completely forgot. How's your house? Everything okay there? Good, bro. It was crazy. How much of a warning do you guys get after, like, once the tornado forms? Like, in the worst case scenario, like, can you get an alert and then a tornado hit your house like 5 minutes later? Or like, how does it work? I don't even know. I'm blessed to live somewhere where we don't have to deal with that. Okay, 30 seconds till this 5-minute inversion. So let's see if we get the close above. And then we'd have to wait for the 3 as well. Okay, so no close above on the 5-minute. No close above on the 3-minute. To me, honestly, this looks more so like a potential intraday sell model to target this low and then potentially this low, but nothing A plus enough for me to take. And no close above on the 3, so we're going to have to wait for the 42 candle here. Anyone take any setups today? Did anyone take this inversion here on the 3 minute and the 1 minute? The 1 minute didn't close until here, by the way, but the 3 minute, was there a 5 minute as well? No, there was not. Oh, got you, Evan, got you. Well, I'm glad I didn't hit your house, bro. That's the number one thing. I was gonna say, if your house is cooked and you were still here, that would be wild. That's dedication right there to the markets. Okay, so we got 30 seconds left till the 3 minute close. This is a tough call. I don't like this close, I'm not gonna lie. Oh wait, hold on. Sorry, 45, my bad. I thought that was a little quick. Bruh. Yo, Tom, please don't. Yo, Tom, when I open up the timer, if you're watching the stream right now, when I open up the clock here, it shows all the things that people are sending me. Don't send me shit like that while I'm streaming, please. I'm gonna get wrecked. You want me to get canceled, bro?
Oh my lord!
That is a freaky looking
tornado.
Bro, that's wild. If I saw that, I mean, there's nowhere to run, too. That's crazy. Damn. So did you see that, Evan? Like, did you see that on your, like, from your window? Hold on one second, guys. All right. Bro, remember when Robert almost got us banned? All right. Guys, if you're in the stream, make sure you like the stream. There's a lot of people in here and there's 5 likes. Come on, y'all. Well, I think that's smart, Evan. Was that on accident or on purpose? Okay, so far the 3 minute is rejecting. Again, if this closes above on the 3 and the 5, I'll take this small size. Damn, Evan, that's crazy, bro. 28 dead after severe storms ravaged the south. Crazy. All right, so 5 minute, guys. Obviously, I'm not going to get an entry if it happens on the 5. 3 minutes still is not closed above. Not a huge fan of what I'm seeing here. So we're rebalancing this obvious bearish fair value gap. We traded into it. We rebalanced it. Now we're trading to the downside. I don't know if this is going to be what drives us higher here, but this is not the optimal trade in my view. I'd love to see more liquidity get swept. Like if we came down here and then got an inversion setup, that would be way better probabilities. But if the 5 minute does close above, I'll probably try this small size. Decent RR at 2.66 to 1, give or take. I'd have to keep a hard stop somewhere here, unfortunately. Wow, I need to get a haircut, bro. My hair's looking wild. So pretty clean rejection there. No equal highs forming here. I'm thinking that the market is going to drive lower towards this low to fill the rest of this gap. Yeah, that is not a good sign for bulls, obviously. I think this low and this low are going to come now. Also, guys, if you sold puts with me from last week, we are up almost 90% on these. I'm going to be holding these out. I sold the, what did I sell? The 40, let me check the Discord. I sold the 400 calls for $208 per contract. So we're up 90%, give or take, on these right now. Okay, so we didn't quite sweep that low. Is there an SMT with ES here? No SMT with ES. There is a tiny 1 minute inversion here that we could target for upside, but I would rather have seen an SMT or liquidity sweep, so this is not a 1 minute for value gap I would take to the upside. It could be Pepe. It could be a 2022 model. I don't take that. But it easily could be. It's just not my model. And especially when we have equal highs above us, I wouldn't look for a complete 2022 model to form right before equal highs. So, not a huge fan of it, but could work. So if we do inverse this 1 minute to the upside, I mean, we could target these highs, but again, nothing A plus here. There was no liquidity sweep, no SMT. There was a tiny liquidity sweep here, but that's not enough for me. I'd like to see that get swept as well. So this technically should bring us back up to this high, but is this an optimal trade? Absolutely not. Oh, that's too bright. There is a bearish engulfing candle here, kind of. It's sweeping the whole body. This could be a rejection to go lower, but is that a setup? No. So nothing here that's formed after this big leg up of price. Whoops. Nothing A plus is formed after this big leg up of price to deliver us higher yet. Has anybody taken a single trade yet today? I want to see of all the people that are in here. X, YouTube, whatever it is. I don't know if I can even see the X comments, to be honest, but let me know if you've taken a trade. Evan says no. Love to see it. If you have not taken a trade today, you should be proud of yourself. Nothing today that I've seen was optimal at all. Nothing. I mean, maybe this inversion after sweeping liquidity, but we had equal highs right above us. Not A plus. KN has not taken a trade either. Good job, guys. Failed 1 minute inversion. Now we're probably going to close back below it. I mean, it hasn't failed yet technically, but it probably is about to. So after a distribution leg like this, guys, normally we have bad price action. So that's what you're seeing here. Now, I'm fairly confident that even if we close within this fair value gap here, we're going to get the next 1 minute candle to close below it. Again, is that a model? No, but I'm just saying, just based off of screen time and experience, I am going to guess with a high degree of certainty that the next or 1 to 2 candles is going to close below this fair value gap, failing it. So let's see if that happens. Oh my gosh. Okay, so no close below yet, but I'm telling you right now, because of this big distribution leg, we're probably going to get consolidation. And when we get consolidation, inverse fair value gaps on the 1 minute time frame normally don't work. Until we get a major liquidity sweep, like for example, maybe an SMT down here, maybe a liquidity sweep on NQ and not on ES, and then we get the inversion that we're looking for. Do 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 do. And there's the close below, just like I said. Now, could we close back above? Absolutely. We could go all the way back up here before delivering lower, but I don't. This is not A+ at all. This is very suboptimal PA. Evan, I have no idea, bro. That's obviously not true. 50,100. Why would that cause you to fail? Obviously not. Probably some broken AI or something, I don't know. So what's probably going to happen here, again, we have this 1 minute fair value gap here. It's also a 5 minute, I believe. So we have this unbalanced fair value gap right here. So my guess is that we're coming down here, creating bearish order blocks to end up rebalancing it. So I think this low is likely to hit. But again, is there a setup for me to take? No. My goodness, bro. This is why I hate streaming on no news days, especially with FOMC members. I've been around long enough to kind of predict what's probably going to happen, but just because you think something's going to happen does not mean you put money on it. Trust me, guys. Please don't become part of the statistic. I still think this low is likely coming today, but again, is that an excuse for me to take a short right now just blindly? No. No, no, no. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we get another close above this inversion. Don't be shocked if that happens. I told you guys just now that we're going to get a close below it. Again, not an excuse to take a trade. But again, this was probably going to close back above, creating another inducement to the upside. It's just terrible price action. Terrible PA. This is what's designed to make people lose money. If you guys have watched me for months and months and months, I don't know how long you guys have been on this stream. You rarely see me clicking the buttons. And when I do, it's not with PA like this. Okay. This is what real trading looks like. It's so boring. Okay. If you... I don't know how to, like, I wish that I could make trading seem more alluring, but in the grand scheme of things, like in reality, boring trading is actually extremely boring. And most people can't take boring. They do this for gambling. They do it for a dopamine fix, and those people will never be profitable. So sucks to bring up that reality, but that is how trading works. I think I'll stay on until the 12:10 macro. So we got a little bit of time, but realistically, if I'm going to take a trade today, it's going to be after this liquidity sweep or if there's an SMT. So we'll see if we get that. But right now, this is looking like an intraday sell model. And then the target would be the 5-minute inversion here, or the 5-minute rebalance, and then the liquidity below us. And I'll show you guys the trade that I took. That was the short. So I'm trying to pass as many eval accounts as possible for Top Step. So far, I'm on 2 fundeds, but I want to get at least 10. But I think once you get asked, you get requested for the live account, then you can't even copy trade. So I'm trying to keep that for as long as possible. Does anybody know if Top Step asks you to trade with live accounts? Wait, what was my question? Lucas, I thought you can only get 5. On Top Step, yes. But with Apex, you can get more. Once you get to 5 accounts on Top Step X, if they ask you, like, is there a time frame that they typically ask you to go live, or is it different for everyone? And do you have to accept it or not? That's the question that I wanted to ask. Does anybody know that? If you get requested to go live on Top Step, or Top Step X, I mean, or Top Step, I think in general, do you have to accept a live request or not? Because with Apex, I don't think you can just keep copy trading. Like, I know traders that have a bunch of fundeds on Apex that can copy trade, but I can't copy trade through Apex. I mean, I could if I get all this software for the Mac, but I'm not interested in doing that. So until they come out with an easier solution for copy trading for Mac, I will just stick to trading the higher, um, the bigger dollar figure fundeds, the 250 and the 300K. All you need is Tradeovate. I have Tradeovate. Oh no, I don't. I have TradeStation. Sorry, I always get confused. But Tradeovate allows you to trade with a copy trading on a Mac. Bro, what do I even have? I get so confused on these names. Wait, no, I must have Tradeovate because isn't Tradeovate how you connect to Apex? Or is that Trades? Okay, TradeStation is what I use for cash accounts. Bro. TradeStation is what I use for cash accounts. Tradeovate is what I use to connect with Apex. So if I just have Tradeovate on a Mac, I can copy trade. I have the 50K Tradeovate Apex accounts. Do you have a Mac, Evan? And you can copy trade using Tradeovate. I'm guessing I'd have to execute using Tradeovate's platform though. Like not, I couldn't use, for example, um, I couldn't use TradingView to copy trade with it. Okay. I mean, I like to execute on TradingView, but we'll see. I'll decide. And I'll look into that because I've never seen that. But okay, so these lows will likely hit now, and then I'm hoping to see this liquidity get swept as well. You. Looks like they're trying to strangle people's patience. Again, there's no trade execution here, guys. Zero, zilch, nada, nothing. There's no reason to be trading this. I haven't actually placed a trade on my Mac because I got it for when I travel. Got you, Evan. Yeah, I'll do more research on it, but I just want to be able to execute on TradingView. Um, I mean, if it means being able to copy trade, maybe I'll do it. But I want to be able to see all my new week opening gaps and all my equal highs and lows. It's just easier on TradingView, but it doesn't really matter. So it looks like on the 5 minute we're forming like a bull flag here. Um, We'll see if it holds. But I'd much rather prefer to see a more liquidity sweep here down into this fair value gap, potentially down to the sell side before we get along. No, it does not make sense to even look for a trade here. Just dumb. No reason to be doing that. So when you execute on Tradevate, it will show that execution on TradingView so you can see how many points or how much TP you're up or down. Okay, that's a good sign, I guess. Okay, so pretty bullish reaction there after sweeping some liquidity. Again, I don't expect this to go all the way up to the equal highs. If it does, great, but is there an SMT with ES? No SMT either. Yeah, I mean, this is just a suboptimal PA for sure. So we just inversed this 1 minute again. Where is this probably going to go now? Up to these highs, but they could easily just fake this out, bring us all the way back down here. Just terrible. Yeah, guys, I am probably going to stay on for a little bit longer just to see how this macro plays out, but this is not something you want to be a part of, really. Promise you guys. Do yourselves a favor. If you're not going to take a trade today, which I'm probably not either, but this is the time to be sitting off the screens for sure. I'm literally just here because I have nothing else to do right now. But maybe something will show up, but for now, I don't see anything A+ at all. But have a good one, guys. I appreciate you guys joining the stream. And yeah, we'll just sit and be patient here. I just longed from M1 plus breaker. Not a high probability trade in my opinion, but I'm glad that you're able to book some profits, Ahmed. Good job. You. So I'm guessing that this is a fake move up. I think they're going to come back down and sweep all these lows, realistically, but we'll see. Yeah, I think I'm going to call it a day here, guys. Realistically, there's nothing A+ that's going to form. If I do see something, I'll call it in the live alert section, as always. But yeah, I will see you guys in the Discord. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And yeah, see you on the trading.